Hello and welcome to another edition of the Royally Rich Lifestyle Show with me, Ian Pelham Turner.
And me, Helena Chard.
On ALB UK television. Well, it's going to be full of royals, it's going to be full of interest. Everything's happening today.
It is. We've got so much news.
Absolutely. So let's roll the titles and get on with the show. Well, King Charles is in the news again. Tell me what's been happening.
Yes, so much has been happening. King Charles, we love King Charles. So obviously he had his meeting with Rishi and they had all the cameras in there. He was looking quite emotional, but the lovely thing was he was saying he's so humbled and thankful for all his good wishes, and he was actually quite tearful about it, which was lovely to hear. But he's forever, waving, and obviously the new portrait of the king is actually going to feature on the new banknotes.
So it's a new £10 banknote, if I understand.
Oh, it's correctly on all the banknotes, so 5, 10, 20 and 50. And obviously the first monarch to appear was Queen Elizabeth, and that was in 1969 on the £1 note, which we don't have anymore. But so they're only going to bring it in. It's the tatty ones, really. And
I think we have a picture of this new specimen £10 note, especially first of all.
Yeah.
But it's coming out later this year. But also, I think we may have a picture as well of Rishi Sunak, waxing lyrical with King Charles as well. So
that's good. But the whole continuity, and he wants to be there. He wants to be with the people, showing he's okay. He's been courageous, and that's brilliant. And obviously, Prince William has stepped up. So much is happening.
Absolutely. But before that, the Crown.
The new Crown.
Not the Netflix one. The new one that's going to cost £5 million to get it printed out. And this is Charles's crown image rather than the Queen's image for gov.uk.
And apparently it's a very subtle change, so I hear.
Absolutely, and it's cost £5 million to get it printed. So,
I mean, I understand when it's a crown and it's your crown, but it's quite a lot of money, I'd say.
A lot of money, anyway.
So we saw Prince William at the BAFTAs, and it was lovely to see him. He ran in late. But I would say it was slightly tricky because obviously Princess of Wales wasn't with him, and as gorgeous as he is in his suit and everything, it was sort of missing that glitz and glamour. But it was great fun, and it was really lovely to hear him talking to people and chatting and laughing and various things.
Do you know what? I think they ought to buy those two a watch. Because
I think he decided.
You remember the coronation when they turned up late as well?
I don't think that was their fault, but anyway. But I know what you mean, and I know. And Fiza was trying to get a photograph of him as well, and he rushed past, so that was an impossibility.
Our great photographer who's now joining us as well, and we're using her photographs. And Fiza Polikevich. Took me years to be able to pronounce her name, but
some beautiful pictures, along with mine, of course. And obviously, Prince William was at the Red Cross, and he was talking very seriously to everyone, and has now really come under fire, hasn't he? Should he be talking politically? Should he be so involved? I mean, what's your thoughts? I have my thoughts.
It's this is a very dangerous thing. This is when I heard about it, I was quite shocked, to be quite honestly, because I think he's now straying into political territory, which is a minefield at the best of times, and finally starting to do things like that. It is probably not the best course of action. And in reality, especially at a time when Charles is not well himself, it seems a strange thing to do to almost strengthen his own public image in some way. I don't know why he did it.
I have a different feel on it. I do feel it's more of a humanitarian role that he's taken, and it's a modern monarchy now, and if he doesn't say anything, I mean, things are really, really quite bad, because obviously you've got the knock-on effects. It may be as simple as cost of food going up, but you have to say something. And it shows the willingness to be more involved and modernise.
I get it.
It was very carefully thought out. I don't think that was too political.
Well, I don't know.
He's definitely his daughter's son. His mother's son, should I say? His daughter's son.
Absolutely. Anyway, Kate and her earrings now.
Yeah, so Princess Kate, who's very missed. Lovely that jewellery has been, there's an earring that's been given to her, and it's the Catherine, I think it's called, the Catherine earring. But it's a brand that gave her an earring last year. I think the brand is Earsas. It's very pretty. It's £27. It's got these little beads, as we can see on the screen. But they've sold out within a whoosh. but they're back in stock, and it's great. And it just goes to show how you can contact brands, doesn't it? And say, please, please, please use my, you know,
and I think
earrings.
they're showing a picture of the earrings.
But I think it's lovely. It was the
well.
Issy Star last year that she wore, and it rose quite a lot of money for mental health.
Excellent. So, going on from that, we're moving on fast today. So, the London Overground.
Yes. The new so it's 6 new lines. I loved it. They were sort of called the ginger lines before because you didn't really know what they were, and they're sort of orange colour. But these lines are distinct identities so that people can actually know where they're going, and obviously they establish quite well on the map. But it's to honour and celebrate different parts of London, and also the unique history and culture behind it. So
I think the one I love is the Windrush line, because I think that's such a poignant moment in time as well. And I think the Caribbean population in London especially has really sort of taken that on board as their own as well.
Yeah, so obviously they run through like Dalston Junction, Peckham Rye, West Croydon. Yep. Lioness Line I like. Travelling through Wembley, obviously, to support the achievements of the England women's football team.
Yep. And if people lose something on the...
I know, I love this.
This is the most amazing story, folks.
I think it's really amazing that 6,000 items are lost on London transport
every week.
And I think the whole idea is that people always think, oh no, you know, I'm not going to get my brolly back. Someone's going to steal my bag. So no one actually contacts them to find their goods, but they've got so much stacked up. There's something like 62,000 items now in the new bus garage in West Ham. And the most unusual things is
you can't get the buses in there.
And the most unusual things is like a Darth Vader costume, and octopus costume, big, huge, cuddly toys. I mean, you just think to yourself, goodness. But there's so many things to remember as well. I think you're given a 3-month period, and then anything that's unclaimed is donated to charity.
It's sold,
but you are given a year for money. So always try and trace your lost items.
Excellent. So, trying to trace Naomi Campbell, my goodness, but she suddenly turns up at London Fashion Week.
She has, but don't forget, obviously she wasn't in it with her new antibacterial fashion night that we spoke about last week, but she was actually there making a surprise appearance. It's the 40th anniversary for London Fashion Week, and she was there for Burberry. And the designer Daniel Lee Saw was there, and they built this huge, humongous marquee in Victoria Park, and it was all really great, amazing people there. Jo Lum, we love Jo Lum, she was there, and Saltburn actor, Berry Keogh, but it was very just right on. Perfect. You know.
Anyway, we're moving on to the new luxury hotel at the BT Tower, of all things.
Which is fun. I'm sure it used to be. Was it always the BT Tower? I think it was called something else.
No, it was originally called the. It was called something, but they went into the BT Tower.
I mean, anyway, amazing. 275 million deal.
Just a mere 275 million.
The history behind it. I mean, absolutely fantastic. And they've got a great designer now that's working on it. And I think what's extraordinary about it is the repurposing it. So if you repurpose something and make it into something for more people to enjoy, even better. And they used to have a restaurant, I think. On the 334th floor, tower. And now they're going to make it a special apartment that's still going to rotate.
Absolutely.
So looking forward to seeing that.
And I'm looking forward to just one last. This is my favourite item. This is why I've been rushing, folks, because now the ice cream parlour in Kentish Town has won another award.
They've won another award. I mean, so this ice cream parlour, they've won an award for a new sorbet, which I think is lemon and blackberry, if I remember rightly. But do you know what one of their most unusual ice creams is Marmite and buttered toast. Can you believe it? They've got something like 205 varieties, and they think that they do so well because they keep trying different things. And I think, how delicious.
Absolutely.
I love it. You're the ice cream fiend, aren't you?
Dear God, does it show?
Of course not. Of course not.
Thank you. That wasn't a very convincing course not.
What can I say?
Anyway, we're just going to take a short break, and then we're going to bring Neil Gathani on, who is London's most popular pharmacist and an expert on what's happening in the pharmacy industry at the moment. Stay tuned. Okay, and welcome back now. Now we have Neil Gathani, who is the friendliest pharmacist in London. Welcome!
Thank you so much for having me. It's a real honour and privilege to be here.
Now tell me, how did you get that title as the friendliest pharmacist in London? That's rather a mouthful to say as well, especially on a Friday afternoon.
Perfect.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think with the nature of the job that we do, we have created within the pharmacy a fantastic setting. We, you know, receive a patient with a smile. The atmosphere that we've created within a pharmacy hopefully allows a patient to feel quite relaxed,
including the dogs as well.
Correct.
The dogs coming wagging their tails, Helena.
Yeah, one of my mottos has always been to create a pharmacy that's welcoming for all. It's not necessarily just for people, but it's for families. That's the main thing, which includes mum, dad, you know, the kids, but also the dogs. I'm a huge believer that they're part of the family. So, you know, we have the dog bowl outside, we have the dog treats on the inside. You know, they drag their owners in just to get a treat on a daily basis, and this creates a lovely environment, which then puts the patient at ease, which gives me an opportunity to really find out what's happening with that patient.
Yeah.
I love that.
We remove the white lab kind of syndrome, if you like.
So do you think the more relaxed patients are, the more you can actually gain knowledge about them? Is that really what you're saying?
I think one of the greatest skills we're always developing continuously is the ability to listen. We try to take as much time to listen to the patient as possible. They then give us clues about what's going on with their situation. We have therapy rooms and consultation rooms that we go into should they need a moment of privacy. You know, one of my biggest mottos within a pharmacy is to give the patient more information when they leave than when they came in with.
Okay.
This for me leads to a feeling of empowerment, that they're in full control of their health. They've got the advice from me and my staff, and they can then go forward and live a much more healthier life.
So lovely, I love that. And also animals, it's all about well-being, isn't it?
Well, it's very difficult to be not being relaxed around an animal. They just put you at ease to begin with. Yeah. A lot of the time, unfortunately, people are told to leave their dogs outside. So the owner is normally a little bit anxious. Oh my God, my dog, I can hear them, you know, they're whining outside, they're unhappy. This just takes it away. And the staff, we absolutely love having the dogs in. You know, they're familiar faces now, it's great.
Yeah.
So Neil, you've developed this private prescription service, which sounds great. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Sure. It's a concept that I've been working on for some time. It's a bespoke, tailored service. It begins with the dispensing side of a prescription, but then tailor making a delivery of the medication for the patient. So this could be at their home, could be at their hotel, could be at their plane's last minute. The idea is to be as accessible for that as possible, which I think is key in today's day and age, to be able to make yourself accessible and available at any time. And then the service encompasses an opportunity for me to coach them how to use their medication. It gives them a bank of resource. They can contact me if they've got any issues, they have any questions. It allows me to put them at ease and just really help them to understand how to take the medication that they're taking. And furthermore, I'm a huge believer in complementary therapy as well. So it gives me an opportunity over a period of time to get to know the patient better. And for whatever deficiencies that they have also, we can supplement for. So they're getting conventional medicine meets complementary therapy. So they get the overall treatment.
And you're trying to create something for developing countries as well now, in the way of medications. Well, tell me, what is the...
So, Caledonia Pharmacy, we're in a unique position to hold what we call a wholesale license, which gives us the ability to send medications abroad. Medicine shortages around the world have become, over the last few years, a real complex global issue. We are seeing supply chain issues, which has a domino effect for everyone involved in healthcare. So my aim is to try and bridge that gap, hopefully create relationships where we are able to provide all the treatments that's necessary. I mean, millions of people every year, like King Charles, has unfortunately been diagnosed with cancer.
Yes.
And this will be an opportunity to be able to get the right medication at the right time, so to make sure that patients' health is not put at risk at all.
Excellent.
So we're always hearing about the pressure that pharmacists are under, a huge amount, you know, so I'm sure you can tell us more. What do you feel about this?
I feel the key to being, I guess, a successful pharmacist is to have the ability to adapt. The last few years has really shown us that we need to make sure that we are ready for anything. You know, health is a complex organic situation that's always ever changing. So for me personally, I take a lot of pride in my own health, so I make sure I stay physically fit. I spend a lot of time, you know, working out, spending more time outdoors, reading, and spending as much time with my 6-year-old son as possible. So this keeps my mind fresh, keeps my body ready, and yeah, it gets me smiling every day to get up and go do the best job I can.
Obviously, you know, at the moment with Rishi Sunak is wanting to use more pharmacists all the time. How do you feel about things? How do pharmacists feel in general? Is this something that you welcome, or is this something that may concern really the pharmacy industry as well, apart from yourselves?
I think, you know, I go back to looking at the last 3 or 4 years, and I think pharmacists have played a vital role, especially throughout the pandemic. This has now given us a voice and a platform and the ability to help our patients in any way possible is always in the forefront of our mind. Does it add to the pressures a little bit? Yes, but we're also accessible, more accessible than I would think a GP practice is, spending more time with the patient. So we welcome it. I think it's a fantastic thing for pharmacy. It allows us to have a springboard so patients will get to know us more and understand that we can help with a lot more. It relieves the pressures for the GPs tremendously.
Finally, how can people get in contact with you? Because you've got so many great services, and as you know, you are the friendliest pharmacist in London. You
know, as I said, accessibility is massive, and we are always, our door is always open. So for sure, patients and customers can reach us on our email address, which is caledonian.pharmacy@nhs.net. We're available through Instagram at Caledonian Pharmacy. They can call us. You know, our number is 0207 609 0798. And our address is Caledonian Pharmacy, 4868 Caledonian Road. And we are right behind the Arsenal Emirates Football Stadium.
Absolutely right. And my final question, does that not put pressure on you, being an Arsenal supporter?
You know, the reason why I chose the pharmacy was because of its proximity to the Arsenal Stadium. As a true Arsenal fan, you know, I love it. And football allows a conversation to begin. Yeah. It almost removes any of the hurdles. You can have a conversation about football with anyone. So actually, it's really, really fun to be there.
Do we believe this?
I can see the crowds. I'm sure it gets very busy on occasion.
It's amazing. You can, like, from the pharmacy, you can hear it. It echoes and reverberates around, and it's the energy.
I can imagine the passion. Neil Gathani, thank you so much for your time this afternoon.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye now. Well, Helena, well, that was a great story and great interest, you know, from Neil Gathani. And now we're with the wonderful Philip Sykes, the British School of Excellence. Welcome, Philip.
Wonderful, wonderful. Good afternoon to both of you, as always. You're looking wonderful and well. And how are things?
Oh, busy.
It's busy
as we know you are, completely.
Yes. This week has flown. It has.
Philip, we were just talking about various things, and you have these wonderful luxury London experiences, and they're sort of educational as well. It'd be really lovely to hear about them.
Helena, that is one of our highlights in our calendar every June, which would have been traditionally, well, in the United Kingdom, for those of you out there, back in the day, it was known as the season. It's still sort of called the season, and it would have started in May and gone through to late September, where the very sort of fortunate, well-to-do families would come to London and experience some of England's or the UK's highlights, predominantly based out of London. We have on offer this year the opportunity for people to come to London to engage with us here at the British School of Excellence, where everything is taken care of. You'll be chaperoned. You will be taken down some memory lanes where a 9-generation businesses have been around for literally 9 generations, like Lock & Co Hatters, the wonderful florist, possibly renowned as the oldest perfumery in the world, to Ladies' Day at Royal Ascot, where you will get the opportunity to have a wonderful picnic through Fortnum and Mason. You'll see the royal carriage come past at 2 p.m. and then engage in some wonderful horse racing. And it really is a fabulous day. And I mean, I could keep going on about this.
So, Philip, you know, with all these very good features that you're sort of talking about now, what do you think? Is there one that you are really so honoured to be part of?
Yeah, I feel honoured to be part of it all. I just feel that the history, the knowledge, the background of these experienced business owners and people who are passionate about what they do, every little bit of detail is brought together, and each sort of scenario, you get an in-depth, without boring you to tears, an in-depth, wonderful journey and highlight into, for example, the history of Lock & Co. or the history of Ascot, or, you know, engaging and rubbing shoulders with people who have grown up with this sort of thing. And not only that, we go to, you know, the afternoon tea at the Ritz, which is the one and only hotel. It's nothing to do with the Ritz-Carlton. Lots of people get that mixed up. But the Ritz Hotel is renowned for its English afternoon teas. I know Frank Sinatra's ex-pianist plays there on the odd occasion. And you're exposed to the finer, wonderful things, such as the True Gentleman clothing store called Alfred Dunhill, been around since 1826. And we will go on a journey into running a couple of programs and classes, as well as the wonderful little hidden gems of what England and the UK has to offer.
Philip, you're always so good at giving advice, and I think people obviously become the best versions of themselves. What are your top tips? Let's just say top 2 things that you would give to anybody so that they can excel in any situation?
Oh, what a great question, Helena. You've got me on the hop here, in the sense that I could give you quite a long and detailed sort of answer. Having said that, I personally believe that nothing changes unless you make a change. So, in other words, if you've been talking about doing something or bettering yourself, you've just got to go ahead and make that change. You know, we always say, I must go back to the gym, or I must do this, or I must, putting a lot of pressure on our shoulders, but it's about taking action. So all of us have the ability to take action and create good habits in our lives. We really and truly do. And something that really has inspired me throughout my journey in my life is by surrounding myself with very good people and people that are better than me. In other words, people that push, people that encourage, people that you can bounce incredible ideas off, and hopefully that'll put you in the right direction.
And are you teaching a little bit of etiquette as you're going around to some of these events? Obviously, because there is etiquette at things like Ascot and so forth.
Very much so, yeah. And we've incorporated a milliner on what the, you know, because in Ascot you've got the various different parts of Ascot, which I know the two of you are very familiar with. But where we go is the Royal Ascot, it is Royal Enclosure and the Queen Anne Enclosure, and there's very, very strict dress codes. So you have to follow that, otherwise you will not be admitted into the grounds. So yes, we will be covering the etiquette, the manners, the whole tradition behind each area or each event that we put on, and we will be running a couple of in-person classes where I'll be coaching and training. I've got a couple of our colleagues who are specialists in their field who will be delivering some coaching and training as well.
When are you launching this? Is this current now?
So I've just sent our wonderful producer the link to the landing page. It is launched officially as of this Monday, and people can engage with us at hello@thebritishschoolofexcellence.com. or email us at hello@british-excellence.com. We love the telephone, so we've got our WhatsApp telephone numbers on our website. We will connect with you. We are true believers in H2H, and that is human to human. So if any of you out there are interested in joining us, please do not hesitate to make contact.
No, I mean the whole thought of Ladies' Day, and actually there's something, I don't know how related this is, but it's something that I've always wondered about, and hopefully you can help me here. When it comes to being in different countries and tipping, how do you work that out? Is it very much about doing your own research as to what is applicable? Because I was just speaking to a friend and they were saying how it was bad manners to give a certain tip. Sorry, this is something that I was thinking. You always teach us the best.
Well, Helena, research is absolutely key. Whatever country you go to, there's certain countries that the team might be slightly offended because you could be intimating that they're not well off or doing a job properly. Having said that, I truly believe that most people in the service sector would be very grateful for a generous tip. That's provided they've given you good service. My go-to in this day and age, because we live in such a small world now, the world has come together very fast. Just the UK alone, just London alone, you've got umpteen dozen nationalities in the UK, in London itself. And for me, I would always do your research. It's the same as the etiquette that you need to understand. If you, let's say, went to, as you both know and the audience know, I went to Qatar recently. I made sure, despite knowing a lot of the Arabic etiquette, I made sure that I polished up on my etiquette without hesitation. For example, I know I'm detracting, but they eat everything with their right hand, and that is very much what, as a Westerner, you need to take into account and show that respect and understanding for their culture and for the way they do things. So going back to tipping, I would always give you the guidance and steering that do your research. And one thing is in the US, tipping is expected in most industries, in taxis and restaurants and so on, and it's normally 15%, where here in the UK is between 10, 12, 12.5%.
Yep. Philip, thank you so much for your time again this afternoon. Excellent advice, and we will see you again next week. Take care.
Take care. Have a lovely weekend.
Thank you. Well, that was another interesting show.
Great show.
It's been a very busy show again today. So from me, Ian Pelham Turner.
And from me, Helena Chard.
This was the Royally Rich Lifestyle Show on ALB UK Television. Watch us each and every week, please. And we will see you again next week. Bye for now.